Hey, we've heard from you. We have tons of questions from health club owners, executives, and GMs, and we're here and we're going to answer all your questions and what the future of the fitness industry looks like. We've got some great content coming up.
So stay tuned. We heard from you, and today we will be answering your questions. I'm your host, Natasha Rodriguez, Digital Marketing Specialist at LEADLION, and we have Nick Parker, CEO of LEADLION.
Hey, thanks for hosting today.
You're welcome.
Yeah, we've got some great content coming up today. A lot of really frequently asked questions from people that own gyms, new gym owners looking to expand, trying not to close. So it's really all over the map, but we're going to be answering a lot of those questions today. So I'm excited to get started.
Sounds good.
So yeah. All right, let's get into it.
Okay, let's get started. But before, I have one quick question I want to ask you.
Okay.
Are you okay with that?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so if you were stranded on an island, but you had like your basic needs, food, water.
Oh boy.
What two things would you want to make sure you had with you?
Oh, that is a really tough question. Okay, number one, a boat.
Okay, fair enough.
And number two, plenty of fuel.
Okay, there you go. There you have it. That was simple.
Hey, there you go. That works. Then I'm off the island, no worries. I actually might want to stay there the way this year's been going.
Honestly,
right?
though.
Yeah, exactly. So, all right, great
Okay,
question.
let's get started. Before we begin, Nick, why don't you go ahead and tell us a little about your background?
Yeah, so LEADLION Marketing, we're an agency that helps health clubs, and we work with a lot of big brands all over the country, even outside of the U.S. I have a 23-year background in the fitness industry, was with a larger chain that got acquired by LA Fitness and was in charge of business training and development for them for many, many years. I've owned my own facilities, multiple facilities with a successful exit after about 7 years. So I know what it's like to be in the facility and selling and operating and hiring. And so I know the ins and outs of the fitness industry that way. You know, we've done some great things in the fitness industry, and so we want to be able to take this knowledge and help you guys out and share that with you. So.
Okay, great, thank you.
Yep. All right, let's dive into some great questions, see what you guys had to say today.
Okay, the first one. Jen asked, how can health club owners overcome sales slumps during COVID?
Jen, that is a great question. So a lot of times when we go through any type of like economic downturn or there's any type of struggle, the first tendency is to conserve cash and to retract. And that's probably the right instinct at first, so you can take a step back and reevaluate and see where you're at. The big mistake is staying there, because that's a slow death. And so if you're going to, maybe you got the PPP loan, or maybe you have a little bit of cash, hopefully, you want to really pour fuel on the fire on the things that were working well before COVID and double down on that. Now's not the time to decelerate, it's time to accelerate and try to keep some form of normalcy and growth happening into the future. And then double down on your systems. Tighten up your sales team, do more training, and really put more emphasis on that, and track your sales with KPIs and things of that nature. So hopefully that answered your question.
Perfect, great, thank you.
Yep.
Next, Stephen wrote to us. Stephen said, I'm a new gym owner who has been in the fitness industry for 10 years. What advice would you give Stephen to ensure his success?
All right, so Stephen, new gym owner, but you do have fitness experience. We see this a lot. A lot of people are in the fitness industry, they're trainers, and when you go from training, 30, 40 hours a week on clients to owning a health club or a gym, it's a very different animal. So first thing, get organized. Make sure that you have systems in place. We call those in the agency world SOPs, standard operating procedures, but systems in place for sales, for marketing. You have systems in place for giving tours and presenting, for personal training, and you're tracking everything in your club, and just be really, really organized, just like you would if you were training a client.
Yes.
You're tracking the results, you're tracking their progress, you're checking in on a regular basis, same thing, and manage the business that way. And don't forget to get on a higher level and manage the business from a high level looking down instead of getting into the nitty-gritty on a daily basis. So.
Absolutely. Okay,
yeah.
Thank you.
All right, cool.
Next one, Stephanie. Stephanie said, I'm working on my marketing calendar and was wondering what offers work and when should I run them?
Oh, Stephanie, great question. This one's a really good one because, we see this a lot, right?
Yes.
One of the biggest mistakes that we see is trying to run the wrong offers at the wrong time of year. So for example, the fitness industry definitely, especially in the US, operates on a calendar.
Yes.
You have the January, February, March Q1, which you'll have some strong offers, a lot of heavy advertising at that time, and then you'll go into a slight lull during the summer, and then back to school picks up for a couple months, and then lull during the holidays.
Yes.
So you have to know which offers to run at what time of year to get the best ROI on those offers. Some of the offers that would typically work best are the lowest friction offers. So we talk a lot about friction, don't we?
Yes, yeah.
We talk a lot about friction in our agency, and friction is how difficult is it to do business with you? And so an example of friction would be, hey, we're running the special for $149 to join. Yeah, you're trying to get a kiss on the first date without even saying, hi, my name is, right? So don't sell on your ads, don't sell on that. That's a back-end offer. What you want to do is have a low-friction front-end offer where you're using trials or zero enrollment, or you get your first month free, things of that nature where it reduces friction so that you get more people in the door, and then they become members, and then you can upsell and cross-sell and have that lifetime EFT, or whatever your average lifetime member value is on your EFT every month. So hopefully that answered that question.
Okay, great. Next one, you ready?
No.
No.
Okay, just kidding. I'm ready.
Next
Let's do
one.
it.
Next up, we have Michael. Michael is about to open a fitness franchise, and he doesn't really have experience.
Okay, so he's new.
He's brand new to the industry.
That happens a lot. Yep.
Yes. His new gym is going to be about 18,000 square feet. He's going to have fitness classes, personal trainers, other amenities. What are some sales benchmarks that he should be aiming for?
Yeah, that's a great question. In fact, I've had this exact discussion like 2 or 3 times this year. Like, hey, because we talk to health club owners all the time, and they're always asking, my club's this big, how many memberships should I be selling per a month, right? And it is based on the size of your club and obviously where your break even is and where you're trying to get. But there's a lot of other things too, like market size, competitors, how dense the population is, drive times. Is it like a big metropolitan city, or is it really rural? So there's a lot of factors involved, but let me give you some ideas and some general benchmarks with that amendment or addendum on it. So if you're a smaller club, maybe 10,000 square feet to 12 to 15,000 square feet-ish, you're going to be anywhere between 70 to 100 memberships a month on average from what we're seeing. Sometimes it can be much higher, sometimes it can be significantly lower, depending on the operator and the market that you're in. If you're over 15 to 20, maybe even up to 25,000 square feet, we're seeing anything from, remember that club that did 550 memberships? That was grand opening. For the first 3 months, they were doing like 500. But you're not going to be doing 500 on a regular basis. So you're going to be somewhere around that 100 to 150 mark, hopefully closer to that 150 mark on a monthly basis. But you know your numbers. It also is based on attrition. How many members are you losing every month, and how many do you need to have that net growth, which is also important. So you got to plug the hole in the bucket to see that net growth. But I'm going to give you that 150 range for your size club. Yeah. So
I would agree.
Per month. Okay, great.
Okay, next one. Carmen, this is a good one. Carmen wants to know how you came up with the name LEADLION.
Okay, so we're a lead generation agency, so we focus on generating leads for health clubs, and not just leads, but also new membership sales. We're focused on really helping them get high quality leads that do convert, and the back end process as well. But I love lions. We hunt because we're different than search. Talking about marketing, search marketing, we are actually disruptive marketing on social media advertising. So we are actually out hunting. I guess you could call it fishing, but so anyway, love the lion, the courage, the boldness. Our marketing is bold. We use what's called, we've coined in-house the ROAR method of marketing. So that's where LEADLION came up. It's just the love for lions and the boldness and the courage in our marketing.
I love it.
Tied to leads, right? So there you go.
LEADLION, don't forget it.
That was so cheesy. That was so cheesy, but okay, we'll take it.
Jordan asks, do you have any advice when looking to open new locations, and what areas tend to perform best?
Great question. So Jordan's asking, I'm looking for a new spot. I'm looking for a new location. What are some, demographic benchmarks, or what is an area that will perform better than other areas? We actually have helped a lot of multi-unit club owners that are looking to expand into other markets, do some demographic research for them. just to help them out, to make sure they're not planting their feet in some bad areas. And typically what we're looking for is we're looking for some sort of density. You know, if you have a population of like 10,000 people in a space, in an area, it's going to be very hard to get enough members unless your overhead is extremely low. So there's a balance between competitors and there's a balance between density of population. So you're looking to be somewhere where you're close to that. One more thing I want to note is look at your anchor, your big box anchor. So if you're a premium membership, you're charging 25, 30, 50 bucks a month, you're going to want to make sure that the big box anchors in your area are premium. You've got Targets and Publix and maybe Macy's and some higher end shopping in that area as an indicator. But if you're a value-based gym where you're charging 10 bucks a month, you can get away with being next to a dollar store, you know, in a market like that, as long as the volume is high or the density is high and you've got maybe 50, 80, 100,000 people more in like a 2-mile radius. So.
Perfect, thank you.
Okay, yep.
Ryan also wrote to us and he said, I'm in a crowded market and see gym ads for my competitors all the time.
Okay.
How much money are health clubs investing in each market each month and how should I be spending?
Okay, yeah. Yeah, so how should I be spending? $1 million a month, Ryan. $1 million a month. That's what it takes. No, not at all. Yeah, exactly. No, you know what it is you may think they're spending tons of money if they're running any type of like retargeting ads and you engage with their content or you know the Facebook algorithm knows that you are a gym owner or in the health club industry and it keeps feeding you other gym ads because it knows your interest is in that area. And so you think they're spending a huge budget. Now some do, but it's not as much as you probably think. So we're seeing a lot of all in at like, you know, $4 or $5 grand a month total. That's multiple channels. That's search, that's maybe a little radio here and there. We've seen larger chains with, you know, 15, 20 clubs spending $250,000 a month. So, and there's some businesses that are very small and they're spending maybe $1,000 to $1,500 a month total on all their marketing. So it really depends. It's not how much you spend. It's really what's really important is how you spend it. Are you getting a return on your investment? Because what happens is, right, you grow the business, you get a return on investment, and then it grows. You can reinvest the profits from that into more marketing and grow your presence. And the last thing I'll say about this is that not every market is big enough to bear a huge budget. So if you're in a smaller market, you can't spend, you know, big numbers because it'll just, it won't work. There's a law of diminishing returns. And so, yeah, I hope that answered your question, Ryan.
Okay, thank you. Fernando's front desk people are great at customer service and sale memberships, but not so great at sales.
Okay.
Do you have any recommendations for him?
Yes, fire them all. No, don't do that. Don't do that. Just kidding. You know, that's really common. We talk to club owners all the time that don't have a dedicated sales team. And so because they don't have a dedicated sales team, because maybe the budget doesn't allow it or they're not big enough, the front desk staff is really good at customer service and they try to get them to double as a membership staff. So what's happening is they're going on these tours and the tours are not very productive and they're not getting good close rates, right? So what I would do, Fernando, for now, is I would implement some sort of sales training program and add more structure to the front desk staff. I would also incentivize them somehow through bonuses and commissions. I would also put some tracking into like a whiteboard even in the break room and say, hey, you know, here's everybody, here's the membership sales, and we're going to have regular coaching meetings every single week that are fun. You know, if they're great at customer service, not strong in sales, they may be reluctant and push back at this at first. So you have to make it fun. Prizes like, hey, win a free iPad or TV, you know.
Fun.
Yeah, make it fun, right? So it's got to be fun. So incentivize them to want to sell and then implement the training to give them the tools and the resources to be able to sell. And then on a weekly basis, have those structured heads-up meetings. They can be 15 minutes and then maybe an hour long once a month. So there's continual training dripping and they're getting better and better and better. And it will improve over time. So.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah, awesome.
Next one. Ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Barry has worked with marketing agencies in the past that didn't really work.
Okay.
He wants to know. He wants to know how many leads should he really be getting.
That's a tough question. let me give you, Barry, so Barry wants to know how many leads should he be getting?
Yes.
Well, Barry, I don't know how much you're spending. I don't know if you're talking about like social media or you're talking about overall in general or every month or from your sales team. So that's a really tough question. So I'll talk to you a little bit about what I know, which is the digital marketing side, specifically using like Facebook ads and Instagram ads to generate leads. If you're getting good low-cost leads, we've had leads as low as, we've had leads as low as 20 cents to 60 cents, but that is really rare. You're not gonna typically see that. But we've had clients get anywhere from 500 leads in 1 month, from as low as maybe 50 to 100 leads in a month. And it depends on how much you're spending. It depends on your market, how saturated it is. Without getting too technical, it depends on the Facebook algorithm in your area and your CPMs, and there's a lot of variables. So you can generate a good, and the density of your area, but you can generate a good volume of leads that are really high quality from social media advertising, but it's got to be done well. But I don't know enough information to give you a hard number. So yeah, hey, here's a question. If you guys want to email in hello@leadlinemarketing.com, you can send all those parameters I just talked about, and I can give you some ideas. So anyway.
Okay, great. Thank you.
There you go.
Larry asks, should I boost my business?
Should I boost my business?
No,
yes, you should
always boost
Larry,
your business.
you should always boost your business. It's important to boost it. Yeah. Okay.
What
did Larry ask?
3, 2.
No, don't cut that out. We're keeping that.
Larry asks, should I boost posts on my business page?
Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay, got it. Okay, so here we're talking about boosting and not running specific ads, but just boosting.
Yeah.
I would say you can boost a little bit, but you're really okay. I understand why he's asking that. The reason he's asking that is because back in, I think it was 2018, I don't remember, the algorithm for business pages changed and it throttled the reach that you would get organically. And so what's happened is there's a lot less engagement, there's a lot less reach when you post something to your business page. Facebook's model, pay to play, right? So then you have to boost it for it to be seen. A lot of times I see way too many mistakes. There's no targeting, they're just boosting it. And what they're doing is if they have a health club in New York, they're boosting it and the people in Wisconsin or Alabama or Florida are seeing the post. Because they didn't really get their targeting dialed in, and also there's no real call to action. They're just, so there's a right way to do it, a wrong way to do it. Without getting too technical, I wouldn't spend a lot of your dollars doing that, but once in a while it's okay, but I wouldn't make that your prime source of advertising.
Okay, great.
Yeah,
last question.
Okay, last question.
Many gyms have been hit really hard with everything that's been going on.
It's been tough.
So Gary wants to know, what's your intake on the future for the industry?
Okay, so Gary, I know there's been a lot of gloom and doom around the fitness industry, but I want to give you a word of encouragement. 2 things that I can think of right away is, number one, the fitness industry, and we talk to people in the industry all the time, are the most resilient, gritty, motivated, inspiring people around, because they're so used to helping other people change their lives that they're winners. They don't want to give up, they don't want to quit. Does that mean people aren't going to close? We've seen a lot of closures. That does not mean that. But I do know that for the second thing is the businesses that are very financially sound prior to COVID, they're not over leveraged, not too much debt, their overhead's not too high, and they were already profitable. Maybe they got some bridge financing. Those are the ones that are going to make it, and we're actually seeing some that were sitting on some cash that are acquiring the smaller groups and the smaller clubs and actually growing their footprint because they know it's an opportunity. So I do believe that the future of the industry is going to be brighter for a couple of reasons. One, everyone became a better operator through this because you had to start paying attention. You had to watch sales. You had to watch your marketing. You had to watch your operations and your labor cost. And you became a little bit more shrewd as a business person and dialing in all the details of your business. So when we come out on the other side of this, we're going to have a bunch of really fantastic operators that survived. And I believe it's going to thrive once again. And the last thing I want to say is, because it was a health-concerned pandemic where people that were unhealthy were at higher risk, that's also going to affect eventually. Right now we're still not there yet, but eventually more and more people will be concerned with their health. than ever before, and so health clubs I think, are going to thrive in the future. So
can't wait.
I hope you're encouraged. Hang in there. You can do it. Don't give up. So.
Well, that's all we have for today. Do you have any more questions, comments, concerns you want to give to our audience before we...
Yeah, what would you bring if you were on an island?
Oh, what would I bring? I would bring like a machete.
A machete?
Yeah, to make sure I can chop down. I don't have a house. We only have food and water, so I need like something to build things. So I'm going to bring like a sword or, something I can cut trees with to build my shelter.
Okay, that makes sense.
And my second thing... You said your boat. Gasoline.
I said a boat and some fuel, so I'm out of there.
I would say, my food, water.
You have food, you have water.
And then my knife to chop down so I can build housing.
Right.
And then...
Netflix.
Netflix, yes. Absolutely.
All right. Hey, guys, listen, if you have any other questions, thank you. We solicited for a lot of questions from a lot of different owners, and we heard a lot. These were just a few of the many we got. We thought these were the most frequently asked. If you have other questions that you want answered, thoughts, anything, let us know. You can do that at hello@leadlionmarketing.com. Just send it in, and we'll definitely curate those questions together and maybe do another video follow-up and answer those questions for you. So until then, thank you for joining us. I'm Nick.
Thank you. I'm Natasha.
Have a good day.